Uganda, a nation abundant in natural resources and lively communities, has undergone significant changes in the past decade through the $302.3 million United States Government of Uganda Competitiveness and Enterprise Development Project, Cedp, funded by the World Bank, implemented through the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development and the Private Sector Foundation Uganda, PSFU. Since its inception in 2013, Cedp has supported business environment reforms, including land management and administration, business registration and licensing, tourism, competitiveness development, and also priority productive sectors of agribusiness, tourism, ICT, and fisheries. The reforms simplified procedures and processes, eased time and access to services, reduced cost, enhanced productivity and competitiveness, resulting into improved land management administration and registration, strengthened business registration and licensing institutions and processes, tourism competitiveness development, and private sector enterprise creation and growth.
So we hope that sustainability will be significantly strengthened through this, and that activities will be scaled up over time, especially issuance of titles, businesses registered, students trained, and we will continue to engage ourselves as a development partner that's here for the long term in supporting the government in its next phase of National Development Plan priorities, which includes tourism, agribusiness, and the mining sector as key sort of areas of focus.
The land reform sought to enhance the security of tenure, which is envisaged to drive the productive use of land in the country. Through the intervention, the percentage of registered land has increased from 12% in 2013 to 30% in 2024. Through the project, 22 land ministry zonal offices were constructed across the country, and all have been fully installed with the new Digital National Land Information System, LIS, a repository of all land information which supports land administration and management. At any of the zonal offices, one can access all land-related services such as registration, title processing and valuation, enabling a faster turnaround time, hence saving time and work convenience.
About 10 years ago, under the Cedp program, we went into the automation of the land registry. On the automation of this land registry, we were able to digitize a lot of our processes. We were able to integrate with the different government agencies. For example, we integrated with Uganda Revenue Authority, which allowed us to block leakages in revenue that were happening at the time. Recently, we launched a new product as Minister of Lands, and that is the online search portal. This portal has enabled us to allow clients, our users out there, to be able to search for property at the comfort of their homes. This product is going to reduce on the delays that people have been facing in regards to checking, validating authenticity of property. But most importantly, it's also going to bring a new service to the public. This service is the land valuation service. service, which will allow people to request for valuation services online without necessarily having to physically come to Ministry of Lands. So it allows them to be able to track that transaction. The 2 months that we have launched this program, we have been able to actually receive a lot of traffic within our systems. Government in itself, in 2 months alone, at a fee of 10,000 shillings of a search, has been able to generate revenue worth 50 million shillings as we speak right now, and the volumes are growing and growing. We have over 14,000 people registered on the system to use this service, both from Uganda and those in the diaspora.
The Land Valuation Management Information System, LAVMIS, also established to create uniformity in property valuation and enhance transparency in land services. It has been integrated onto the UGNLIS to enhance consistency and standardization of land values across the country. Both systems are easily accessible by the public through their mobile gadgets, and they are also integrated with public and private institutions in a bid to ensure effective service delivery.
This system of checking using the phone or verifying your title or any other thing using the phone is very good. It's good for us, most especially for us who are dealing in real estate. It's the way to go. Everything now is on digital. Now we are going to start paying using our phones and prevent these unnecessary delays.
Today, citizens receive SMS notifications on land transactions and can access friendly land services within a week, while land searches are also instantly conducted in just a day. This has led to comfort to both the locals and investors because they know their land rights are secure.
I'm happy that we have MSO offices here and in Jinja, and I've been processing titles for different plots of mine. It's easier to get, and they have reduced us from here to Kampala, and the service is okay. If you want a search here in Jinja, from morning only 2 to 3 hours you have a search. When you are processing a title, after paying all the taxes, you can get a title within 2 weeks.
Among other key milestones in the land space was the reconstruction of the Institute of Surveys and Land Management, which has revitalized the institution as a hub for professional training and development. Complemented by the introduction of a specialized degree program at Makerere University designed to equip the next generation of land professionals with advanced skills in surveying, land management and administration, ensuring a sustainable future for Uganda's land sector, the impact of the Cedp in the land space remains immense. To further enhance survey accuracy and efficiency, Cedp invested in modern survey infrastructure, including establishment of the Continuously Operating Reference Stations (CORS) under the Uganda Geodetic Reference Framework (UGRF). These advancements have significantly improved the quality of surveys, providing precise geospatial data essential for proper land demarcation, planning, and development. Together, these reforms are laying a strong foundation for equitable land administration, fostering economic growth, and securing land rights for all Ugandans.
With the GPS equipment, the RTK, the moment you report to the field, it shall be noted in the office that you have reported. You cannot claim that you are there if you are not there. And besides that, that position which you fix is very well trusted compared to the previous one. So there is going to be a likelihood in a reduction of poor surveys, therefore contributing to reduction in disputes as well, and a better cadastral survey database which you can depend on.
The country also developed its first ever National Physical Development Plan to guide land use and developments. About 400 lower-level physical plans at sub-county and parishes have also been developed to enable proper land use and zoning, among other reasons.
Physical planning is very important to an urban area like Kamli Municipal Council because it solves issues of unguided development. Example is the central business area. You can see what is happening there. The roads are well designed and business is moving on. Schools are also indicated in areas where they're supposed to be.
Another significant reform has been in streamlining and automating business registration and licensing processes by making it easier and faster for businesses to formalize and operate, thereby reducing the cost burden. Services have been decentralized and introduced online business registration services.
It is simplifying the whole process. Just everything on my mobile phone. As Cedp, we are happy because it's going even to widen the numbers of our members who are fully formalized. That even to own a shop, you're supposed to have registered. You're supposed even to access a license for KCCA.
There has been institutional strengthening, construction of the Uganda Business Facilitation Center, a home to 3 government agencies of Uganda Registration Services Bureau, Uganda Investment Authority, and Capital Markets Authority, and with a one-stop center that has 15 points of service for various MDAs. An inventory of licenses through a standard cost model was made, focusing on assessing and reducing the administrative burdens associated with obtaining licenses for various business operations. Tourism is a key sector for Uganda and has a lot of untapped potential, which the Cedp sought to unlock in order to position it and enable it to drive the country's economic growth. The sector employs the largest number of youth and women with an immense trickle-down effect, which quickly enables socio-economic transformation.
That's brand equity, that's brand recognition, that's a brand value proposition which came from Cedp. And I think the private sector has been the biggest beneficiary. We are now able to see that from about 2014 up to as late as 2019, tourism became the #1 foreign exchange earner, earning government 10% of GDP. But more than that, one of the biggest employers and the biggest taxpayer. So in terms of our footprint as a sector, with the support of Cedp.
At the commencement of Cedp, the labor force for the tourism industry was characterized as inefficient, low-skilled, and limited in number compared to those in the regional competing destinations. Cedp has therefore supported the transformation of the Uganda Hotel Tourism and Training Institute and Uganda Wildlife Research Training Institute to become centers of excellence for provision of quality training for existing and prospective workers in the sector.
We want to thank Cedp and the government of Uganda for having picked interest in upgrading this institution into a world-class training institution, which pivots the tourism industry value chain in terms of manpower. Even if you have the best hotel with a poor labor force or workers, that product will not be appreciated and it will not give you leverage or competitive advantage. What gives any property, what gives any establishment in the tourism industry competitive advantage is the manpower that they have.
I'm really so grateful, like we will be joining the new Uganda Hotel and Tourism Training Institute because like we have the hotel behind us, which will really help us in improving our practical skills.
As for the field of sciences, we have got the space where we are carrying out our own practicals. And from the new facility, as you've seen, we are having a trooper behind us. It helps us also to move from different places around to carry out our own research.
To make the institutions competitive, the project supported the review of the curriculum and also collaborated with others for easy accreditation. The research from these institutions is geared towards establishing and upholding international standards for a more robust overall tourism offering that leads to an increased number of visitors and eventual revenue generation.
With the training I got at UHTI, Uganda Hotel and Tourism Training Institute, I got to learn the different ways of service, and that's within the restaurant, and also how to operate a whole restaurant and the hotel at large. With this knowledge, I've gotten to interact with different kinds of people. With the pastry knowledge, I got to represent the country in China this very year in pastry competitions. That was in Chongqing, for the second Belt and Road International Skills Competition, where I emerged the 50th out of the 12 countries that participated in that sector. Last year, I was in Belgium for the World Skills Belgium competitions under the bakery category, where I came back with a bronze medal. And I'm glad to say that UHTI has always been there to help me both mentally and psychologically throughout all these competitions. You know, they get stressing at times, but really they give me a coach that is really supportive, who gives you the knowledge and support that you need.
Cedp also reconstructed other tourism agencies and facilities like the Uganda Wildlife Education and Conservation Center, the Uganda Museum, and Uganda Wildlife Authority, which was provided with buses and boats to ease on people's movements within the protected areas.
Visitor population has increased since the construction began, of course, the roads, and you see more families coming with their strollers and what which used to be had with a bad road. So for COVID, we have around like 370, now we're in 600,000. So we are planning maybe next year to hit 1 million, which is rare even for zoos out there in like very developed countries. I want to thank Cedp and World Bank, of course, our ministry, through our ministry, Ministry of Tourism, for giving us this funding. For us, it increases animal welfare, but also the picture of your work, it improves it, and there's a lot, and I encourage also the public to come and visit.
I'm from North Africa, actually, coming from Tunisia. This is my first time in the zoo here. As so far, the wildlife is so wild and so nature and so pure, like as I expected and I wanted. Still not seeing all the animals yet, but as I'm seeing, we came in a nap time. But so far it's been very well.
We are here to see the animals and to have fun. We were here about a year and a half ago, and we have seen a lot of things have changed. Like, for example, the last time we were here, the roads weren't actually paved. Yeah, they are now actually paved. It's actually, it's better walking on the paved roads than the way they were some time ago. Then as we were entering, we noticed that the children's side, the fun area, it was improved.
All these reforms have stimulated direct employment in the sector by 6.5%, and currently the tourism sector directly accounts for about 650,000 of total employment.
As chairperson of Uganda Hotel Owners Association, I think it's a project we embraced because of the support it was giving to the private sector. The Uganda Hotel Training School in Jinja and the one in Kasese, because as you know, Uganda Hotel Owners Association is involved up right now in skilling and making sure that the service industry improves in giving out services. We've been doing apprenticeship programs.
I would say Cedp has been the most transformative tourism project we've had in a very long time, in the sense that it helped us establish critical infrastructure to support the tourism industry growth. It also laid the foundations for the statistical input that we needed to justify the economic importance of tourism, but also in building the key skill sets that are required for tourism.
The Uganda Tourism Board was also supported to, among others, develop the Tourism Information Management System that has enabled the sector to have a one-center collection of tourism data, which is instrumental in supporting decision-making within the meetings, incentives, conventions, and events, reducing the regulatory burden for the private sector investments.
Cedp project funding to Uganda Tourism Board has increased the visibility of Destination Uganda around the world, but also domestically, to the capacity building that we have had through the funding for the private sector, but also for Uganda Tourism Board staff and the Ministries of Tourism staff, and then the business strategy that has been developed with their funding, having MICE as a product now. So we are very excited, and we are so grateful to the funding from Cedp, but also the team at Cedp that we have worked with. They have been a great team that have really helped us, achieve what we have achieved to this point, which is going to take Uganda's tourism to another level.
Cedp gave us a start, and the market destination representatives have been working with our embassies. Now our embassies can take over, and we work with Uganda Tourism Board and work with the ministry and continue marketing the country, continue promoting the tourist attractions within the country. The competitiveness of the country from the point of view of developing requisite infrastructure for tourism has also been given a shot in the arm, and I can tell you we shall be in a position to be a very competitive destination from the point of view of tourism.
The project also significantly supported private enterprises through initiatives such as business development services, certification and marketing, which resulted in increased employment and enhanced trading within the private sector. Through the Community Enterprises Grant Facility, communities around protected areas were empowered to engage in tourism-related income-generating activities, fostering a positive attitude towards conservation. Additionally, the 50-50 matching grant facility for small and medium enterprises in high potential sectors like coffee and horticulture boosted export potential, employment, business turnover, and resilience. Notably, 248 SMEs were supported, with 32% in the tourism sector, benefiting 288,000 individuals, 51% of whom were women. In response to the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic, approximately $1.5 million from the Tourism Enterprise Fund was allocated to support eligible firms and associations in the recovery and resilience building efforts.
Their support has been very critical, but most recently for the recovery from COVID. And I will gladly say that from the support we got from getting promotional materials, which we distributed during our participation in different trade shows and travel markets and expos. So that has really boosted us. We were able to recover pretty quickly to now where we believe we are.
Through the Cedp support, we have been able to review the tourism policy. And when you review the policy, you look at where you're coming from and where you want to go. And by doing that, we have engaged the private sector at all levels in tourism to see what should be in the tourism policy. You as tourism private sector, what makes you more competitive? What makes tourism sustainable? So under the Cedp project, the first component we did was to review the curriculum for the Hotel and Tourism Training Institute, but we've also reviewed the curriculum for the wildlife training, because it's the curriculum that is the basis, the foundation now for the training. Then on top of that, we went ahead to do the infrastructure development. We got the buses, we got the boats, and the boats were given to Lake Mburo, Makshon, Queen. We have given a boat to the school in Kasese. We are also giving a boat to the Wildlife Conservation Education Center. As UHTTI goes out to do outside catering, that van is a whole kitchen in itself. It has cookers, it has light, it has serving centers. So you can go out and train these students so that tomorrow when they are doing outside catering in the private sector, they know exactly what is expected of them. And right now we have 100 apprentices we have engaged, and we have sent them to work, we have sent them to national parks, we have sent them to the hotels, because those are the areas that we want to make competitive within the tourism industry. I think this is one of the most impactful projects that I have implemented, because just in a period of the last 12 months, the amount of work that has been done, especially in terms of infrastructure development, in terms of equipping, in terms of furnishing, it's work that I have not seen done in that kind of period of time. And that was because of the collaboration between us, the project office, which sits at PSFU, the World Bank country office. So I really appreciate the work that has been put in by all the parties, and I look forward to seeing the benefits of the project.
As the project concludes, stakeholders remain optimistic that these interventions will continue to drive economic growth and development, leaving a lasting impact on Uganda's private sector and tourism landscape.
So we are convinced that the agencies will continue benefiting from the interventions under the project. Equipment, systems that we have created will continue to be able to be serviced and continue to be operational. And at the end of the day, the benefits of the project will continue beyond the life of the project. We've been receiving support through the implementation of the project and oversight from government to be able to do our work. So we're being well facilitated, and we cannot take that for granted. Without that, we'd never have been able to deliver the project.